big moves keep happening as we get closer and closer to NFL free agency. And remember, March 10th, teams, organizations can start negotiating with players, talking over contracts, all that fun stuff. And on the 12th, it can be made official. And so the big question is, what is all the hype? What do the Patriots really need to look into? And I think one position group is really heating up. Let's jump into it. You guys know my name is Aaron. On the daily, pushing out Patriots content to people like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So do me a huge favor before we get started. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below. Today, what we're going to be talking about, a specific positional group that, as of right now, as of this week, as of yesterday, really heating up. As well, we talk about one other position when it comes to free agency that doesn't really get talked about much, but it is very important. So let's jump right in. First and foremost, you have heard the news. First and foremost, Mr. Max Crosby, massive extension. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. If you did not see, it's 3 years, $106.5 million contract extension. Now you're saying, Aaron, I do not care about Max Crosby. Okay, give me a second. I'll explain why it's important. Leading from there, next up, which is crazy to me, I did not see this coming, Joey Bosa being released from the LA Chargers, still want to say San Diego every single time, being released after 9 years. I believe he made 6 Pro Bowls. They are going to save just under $26 million in cap space. The reason I am bringing this up is as we get closer to NFL free agency, we know one position that the Patriots are coveting, that they need to help people like Keion White, to help in the trenches on the defensive side of the line, is the edge rusher. So as more opportunities come out there, there's some good, there's some bad. Max Crosby, a lot of people, there was rumors out there that it was a possibility he could get traded. That's not going to happen. It's all, basically what this is all a domino effects. Who is going to end up where, what's going to end up happening. So we know Max Crosby, nothing's going to happen to him. He is staying with the Raiders, and he is getting paid bank. Good for you, man. Now, next, the big name that's going to be traded, Myles Garrett. So a lot of people, where's he going to end up? Because where he ends up, that's a possibility. That opens up more free agent edge rushers to go elsewhere. What does that mean for the Patriots? What that means is if Myles Garrett, let's say he gets traded to a Lions, there's the big rumor right there. The Lions, the Commies, which if you don't know who the Commies are, the Commanders in Washington. But if he doesn't get traded to one of those teams or he doesn't get traded at all, then again, it's what happens with the other edge rushers who are free agents. So now towards the top of that list, if not at the very top, you could argue Joey Bosa. So now you have Joey Bosa, you have Josh Sweat, you have Hassan Reddick. There's other names in there that are down the list a little bit, but still big names. In Chase Young, you'll have Khalil Mack. So the question becomes, as these players, when March 10th comes and negotiations start, the Patriots, what is now going to be their game plan when it comes to the edge rushers? Again, Myles Garrett, what happens to him? As those dominoes fall, I think it's going to be a more realistic outlook for the Patriots. But my question to you is this: of the pending edge rusher free agents, who do you think, or who would you like the most? Again, domino effects. Josh Sweat, younger guy. Hassan Reddick, again, it would be wild to think the amount of players if the Patriots could. You talk about DJ Reed, potentially, again, I'm up and down on the idea of Devontae Adams, but it'd be pretty crazy to see former Jets coming over to the Patriots and then making a big impact. Khalil Mack, we talk about, who is older. A lot of lists actually have him towards the top when it comes to free agent edge rushers, but this right here on NFL.com has him at number 3. And then you have one other big name at number 6. Obviously, these other guys, big names, but Chase Young is another one of those guys that I think, coming out of Ohio State, has had at times underwhelming career. And so I think he still has a potential, being 26 years old. I think it's interesting. They said poor man's Jadeveon Clowney. But again, put in the right system, coming in under Mike Vrabel, I think he could make a big impact. You can continue down the list. You see some, big names. Marcus Davenport, another guy towards the bottom, who was with the Lions but got hurt. So we'll see what happens there. But what's interesting, as I said, I think this is a good outlook for the Patriots as we have bigger names available at edge rusher. So again, like a Joey Bosa, the dominoes will fall. And hopefully, someone good will fall into the Patriots' lap. What do you think? I think, again, good news, bad news. Good news is another guy available in free agency on the edge. It's possible that he will be, coveted by teams like, again, the Lions, the Bears who need an edge rusher, the Commanders, a lot of teams who want an edge rusher. But again, it all depends. What's teams' plans? What are they willing to pay? So it will be interesting moving forward. And again, back to the piece about Myles Garrett. Where is Myles Garrett going to end up? We already seen Max Crosby. He signed a contract. A lot of people, I know I've thrown out the Lions a lot, but a lot of people said, hey, listen, he played at Eastern Michigan. Is he going to have a reunion in Michigan? No, he's not, because he's getting paid moolah over in LA. So comment below. Tell me what you think. You think this is good news for the Patriots as the free agency market? We add another great edge rusher. Is that going to help the Patriots? I think yes. I think yes. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Now, again, we talked about the dates. We have March 10th is free agent negotiating period begins. So that starts at noon Eastern time. And then March 12th is technically the new league year. That starts at 4 o'clock. So expect to see a lot of big moves. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to get everyone ready for football, even though we should be getting ready for March Madness. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about, and something that we really haven't talked about much, is the quarterback position. And I know you're going to laugh and you're going to be like, this is stupid. Why are we talking about this? Hear me out. We know Drake May is the face of the franchise moving forward. But the question then becomes, okay, does an asset like Jacoby Brissett on a veteran minimum stay with the New England Patriots, or is Joe Milton ready for number 2? In my opinion, I do think Joe Milton's ready for number 2. A lot of people say, hey, I actually think that we should try to get a trade. We should try to trade Joe Milton. I'm not opposed to that necessarily either. Again, we talk about return on investment. If you could get a lot of people have even said as high as a second-round pick. Again, I think that's a little far-fetched, but you never know. So I do believe there's probably teams that, as they look at this quarterback class in this draft and they need a quarterback, which a lot of teams do, they're just like, hey, do we send, a second, third, fourth round pick for Joe Milton? Again, it'll be interesting to see. But the question really becomes the veteran presence on that QB positional group. Having someone like Jacoby, I do think will be good for Drake May. Now, I think obviously Josh McDaniels is going to be an extraordinary help. You'd be an idiot not to say that. But I think that having that veteran in your ear is not a bad thing. So the question then becomes, is it worth bringing in Jacoby Brissett again for another year to have him as a third string? Again, it would be that kind of safety plug that, hey, if things really hit the fan, then we have this guy in place. What's your thoughts? Again, I do think Joe Milton should step into that number 2 spot. Again, he is seeing him play in college, seeing him play a lot more than probably a lot of people when he was at Michigan, when he was at Tennessee. I mean, he was at Michigan long ago. But that being said, I think he has shown, hey, I have what it takes to be a number 2. And obviously there's a reason that Elliott Wolf and the organization got him this last draft class. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward. Now, I do believe that if Joe Milton were to get traded, then it would be probably a no-brainer unless someone else came up to pick up in free agency, would be to keep Jacoby Brissett just for the consistency. And I do like the comparison here where it says Patrick Mahomes also praised Alex Smith as being a bridge guy for him becoming a star at Kansas City. So again, having that veteran voice in your ear, that confidence, that help, that wisdom, though is Jacoby Brissett a Hall of Famer? No, but he's been around the league. He's seen a lot of things. He is a smart guy. If you look at a lot of second string quarterbacks, remember the GOAT, my guy, Brian Hoyer, there's a reason he was in the NFL for so long. He was a hard worker. He was incredibly smart, and he was a good leader. He was a good person to bounce ideas off. A lot of times, coaches, you don't want to have to worry about your second string quarterback. You want that to be a guy that is willing to hold a clipboard, willing to listen, and God forbid if he needs to go in, he can go in and do his job. And I hate to use the term because everyone should be a good game manager, but essentially go in there and be able to manage the game and get him a win. So the question becomes, as I said, Jacoby Brissett, worth keeping on, even if he's a third-string quarterback. Comment below. I'm not opposed to the idea. If not, is there a different veteran quarterback you see coming out of free agency that would be to your liking for the Patriots? But I do think it should be Drake May, Joe Milton. I don't think there's a big argument there. And then possibly a Jacoby Brissett or other veteran quarterback. Comment below. Tell me what you think. And let's remember, Jacoby already has a rapport with Drake May, and it would be cool to see him a part of the rebuild just a little bit, especially if it's on a cheap veteran contract. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the edge rushers. Enjoy the day. We'll talk later. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.